This video is going to cover purchase order container tracking and processing using our Agility desktop solution. So we have some purchase orders created in SAP Business One. I'm using a warehouse called Inventory Drop Ship. It's an inventory warehouse, but I'm using this to do all my receipts, say from overseas, for a container in the warehouse 04, which has not been tracked. And then once it arrives, I can receive it into whatever warehouse I want to. So again, I have this purchase order 535. I have what we call a process grid developed called purchase order container receipt. And here's a list, in this case, of all the purchase orders that are destined for warehouse 04, which is my inventory drop ship. I could have different views. So what we're going to simulate here is all the items on these two purchase orders are going to be received in one container. I'm going to go ahead and assign all these a specific container ID. I also have the ability to modify the quantities. I'm not going to. And I'm just going to select this function to go ahead and do a purchase order goods receipt for both of these purchase orders, and then create a transfer order request. So here's the transfer order request, and in the user defined field, I have that container number. Here's all 6 of those items from those purchase orders. And if I take a look at the purchase order, do a refresh, I could see it's been fully received. I could take a look at the goods receipt. So now the purchase order has been received. Accounts payable could pay the invoice as needed. We then have the ability to go in and change the due date of the inventory transfer request. When the product arrives, I could give this transfer request pick list to the team that's unloading the containers. The mobile user is going to go into the inventory transfer request, start scanning on the container. They could start receiving whatever items they are going to be receiving to. In this case, I'm just going to move everything to the dock. I have the ability to just partial receive an inventory transfer request. Some of the items are still open. They have not yet been received. I did create a inventory transfer document. Later on, I could go ahead and post the remaining items. And I could see I process this in 2 different batches of items. We have the ability to assign groups of purchase orders to a container in advance. And then what I just showed you, we were able to take a purchase order, do the receipt for accounts payable purposes, automatically create a transfer request with our composite transaction, and then process the transfers of goods once the product hits the dock. This concludes our short video on purchase order container tracking and processing using Agility Desktop.